The history of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers began with the fight for our nation's liberty. In 1775, George Washington appointed Richard Goodley as the first Chief of Engineers. Army engineers were instrumental in some of the hardest-fought battles of the Revolutionary War. In 1814, the British attacked Fort McHenry. Its successful defense highlighted the need for stronger American coastal defenses. As a result, the Corps of Engineers developed a system of fortifications built to protect important ports and waterways. The General Survey Act of 1824 authorized the Corps of Engineers to conduct surveys for roads and canals of national importance, aiming to improve infrastructure and promote economic growth. It laid the groundwork for the USACE Civil Works mission. In 1853, Army engineers began construction of the Washington Aqueduct, which still provides drinking water from the Potomac River to the Washington, D.C. area to this day. During the Civil War, the Corps of Engineers provided critical mapping, construction services, and leadership on the battlefield. Army engineers built pontoon and railroad bridges, demolished Confederate supply lines, and conducted siege warfare. Engineers also oversaw the defense of the Capitol, constructing 68 forts and 93 batteries around the city. During the devastating flood of 1882 on the Mississippi, the Corps of Engineers played a vital role in disaster response by using its floating plant to deliver emergency supplies to affected areas. This effort marked an early example of the Corps' commitment to aiding communities during natural disasters, showcasing its logistical capabilities and engineering resources in times of crisis. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was responsible for the construction of the Capitol's landmarks. It completed the Washington Monument, Capitol Dome, and built the Lincoln Memorial. In 1911, the Riverton Lock was completed on the Muscle Shoals Canal along the Tennessee River. It was then the highest lift lock in the world. The designer, George Washington Goethals, later oversaw the construction of the Panama Canal, completed in 1914. The Flood Control Act of 1917 was the first extensive legislation passed in the United States that focused specifically on flood protection, and it authorized USACE to make improvements along the Ohio, Mississippi, and Sacramento rivers. The Flood Control Act of 1928 launched the Mississippi River and Tributaries Project, which created a comprehensive and unified system of public works within the lower Mississippi Valley. The system of levees, flood walls, channel improvements, floodways, and dams has prevented more than $600 billion worth of damages since its creation. In November of 1941, Congress transferred responsibility for real estate acquisition, construction, and maintenance for Army facilities, including training camps, bases, depots, and hospitals, to the Corps. This marked the start of USACE's modern military construction program, which continues to deliver state-of-the-art facilities today. During World War II, Army engineers placed floating and fixed bridges in Italy, France, and Germany. They repaired road and rail nets for Allied forces, and showing a mastery of amphibious warfare, they prepared and developed beaches for assault landing. The Federal Disaster Relief Act of 1950 authorized the Corps of Engineers to provide assistance and technical expertise to communities affected by natural disasters. This legislation formalized the Corps' role in emergency management, enabling it to support state and local governments during recovery efforts. In 1954, Congress authorized USACE to begin construction on navigating improvements along the St. Lawrence River, creating the St. Lawrence Seaway, which made transporting commerce from the Great Lakes to the world safer and more efficient. For 250 years, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has enabled our nation's soldiers to win wars, strengthen the economy, and reduce risk for hundreds of millions of Americans. It's a mission USACE will continue to perform into the future.